Wrestling is now, fans. I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. When it all falls down was an event. It was W.I.N's very first show since practically taking the summer off because they hadn't done a show since June 1st, and it was at the Elks Lodge on Queens Boulevard. And they really scored big on this event, and obviously some new chapters have begun. But things started out with a pre-show match as we saw the combination of Tommy Invincible and Alex Rivera do battle with the Cowboys of Doom. I apologize if I got that wrong, and I apologize if I got for not remembering their individual names, but Cowboys of Doom defeated Tommy Invincible and Alex Rivera at 7 minutes 12 seconds. But then ring announcer Nick Downey starts the main show by introducing Wrestling Is Now's a new general manager, Max. I apologize for getting his name wrong. In the past, he had been doing he was a promoter of women's wrestling. And he said things were going to change, and he was saying, if anyone's got a problem with it, come on out. But then out comes three ladies from Phoenix Wrestling, and I forgot what other federation he said. In case you didn't wonder, guys, it's I can't remember everything after the shows go in the books. But the point is, out comes someone. Well, it said Hendrix on his gear, and Max referred to him as like a boy band reject, and Hendrix wanted a match right then and there. He said, "You're going to give me a match." And out came, and Max agreed and said, "You got a match." Actually, one of the ladies attacked Hendrix, and he ends up out on the floor, and he gets his match, and it's Jocko, spelled Jaco, and the match was on, and Jocko defeats Hendrix at 6 minutes 24 seconds. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but the pre-show tag match, the Cowboys of Doom, with a question mark at the end, had defeated Tommy Invincible and Alex Rivera. That one went 7 minutes 12 seconds. Next up was a triple threat tag team match for not only the W.I.N tag belts, but for the SPO tag team belts and the Juggalo Championship Wrestling tag team belts. Juggalo Championship Wrestling is run by the Insane Clown Posse, or as I call them, the Idiotic Cornball Pussies. As we saw going into the match, the JCW tag champs, Tommy and JP Grayson, the new Backseat Boys, covering by Johnny Cashmere. The SPO tag champions going into the match, Dave McCall and Nate Wallace, the rep, versus Danny Miles, and I forgot his partner's name, the W.I.N tag champions going into this, known as The Unit. Very good match these three teams put together, and eventually the new Backseat Boys defeated the rep and the Unit to, first of all, retain the JCW tag belts, become the new SPW tag team champions and the new W.I.N tag team champions, and I believe, unless I'm mistaken, now the Backseat Boys are now two-time W.I.N tag team champions. After all three teams left the ring, Johnny Cashmere opens up the briefcase he carried to the ring, and it was a rope, and he wanted somebody to come inside and hold the microphone for him, but in comes his scheduled opponent, Whiplash. Cashmere made it seem like he couldn't recognize him at first because he was telling Whiplash, "Hold the microphone up while I speak." And Cashmere's got the rope, and he's like starting to work out. He's like saying, "Notice the arm," and Whiplash kept like lowering the microphone to the point where he knew the crowd couldn't hear Cashmere talk. And the match got underway. Johnny Cashmere defeated Whiplash at 2 minutes 49 seconds. Rather quick match, if you ask me. Up next was six-man tag team action as we saw the Gordon brothers, Ian and Eric, teaming up with the Perfect Ratio, Adonis Stone, as they did battle with the 24-karat lion Jeremiah Goldman. I apologize, I got his last name wrong. And Jeremiah brought out his tag team partners, the Death Threat Army. I apologize for getting not only their individual names, but the lady who came to the ring with them. Thoroughly enjoyed this matchup. Jeremiah and the Death Threat, not Death Row, Death Threat Army defeat the Gordon Brothers and Perfect Ratio Adonis Stone at 11 minutes 38 seconds. Next up, in a match that, well, actually, the 6-man tag was not announced, and next match was not announced, as we saw the infamous Adam Kane do battle with J.J. Doze. Unless I'm mistaken, both these guys work for Victory Pro Wrestling in Long Island. J.J. Doze defeats infamous Adam Kane at 7 minutes 13 seconds. Up next was a 6-on-3, you heard that right, folks, 6-on-3 handicap match, as we see TG3, Big Aunt Gracia, and Big Ray, known as the Entourage, as they did battle with Nasty Nestor, Mad John, and all apologies to their 4 partners whose names I did not get. Obviously, this was a match to really showcase the Entourage, who are 3 huge men, and the Entourage defeated Nasty Nestor, Mad John, and their 4 partners whose names I apologize for not getting at 10 minutes 40 seconds. From that point, it was time for what was going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match, but then it was announced that it's a no ropes Falls Count Anywhere match, as the ropes of the ring were taken down, as we saw Channing Deckard accompanied the ring by the Rep, and as he took on the Feral Face for both the W.I.N. Invitational Championship and the SPO Gold Championship. These 2 guys, they took it out to the floor. They were, giving new meaning to the term going to the chair, or in this case, chairs, because luckily I held on to my seat. I just kept getting out of the way whenever anybody came near me. Match eventually ended as the Feral Face defeated Channing Deckard at 17 minutes 36 seconds. At that point, Face retained the W.I.N. Invitational Championship, while Channing Deckard, actually he also won the SPO Gold Championship that Channing Deckard had going into the matchup. They went to intermission to put the ropes back up, and we see the action resumed with Brandon Downey accompanied the ring by Alex Rivera, Adonis Stone, and I believe that was Hendricks, who we saw in the first match of the main show, as Brandon took on Hamlet Hurts you and I. He's got like the hit in the land, for those who don't know. Midnight Horses, it's called. Of course, Hamlet accompanied the ring by his 3 masked minions that were like kneeling in the corner. These 2 guys are very good, and unless I'm wrong, this is the only promotion Hamlet works for right now. But Hamlet Hurtsu got the victory over Brandon Downey at 12 minutes 34 seconds. And then it was time for the main event, which was a 4-way match where the winner would win the vacant W.I.N. Heavyweight Championship, as we had Steve Pena versus PJ Savage versus El Jefe or Adrian Santos versus, I guess we could say he's Mr. W.I.N. himself, Joel Maximo. As the match is about to get underway, out comes the cause of it all, Joey Conway with the championship belt, and he was standing right in front of me, and he seemingly spit on the championship belt before throwing it into the ring. Conway actually got injured earlier this year, and I'll get to Conway later on. But match gets underway, and a very good matchup here. We saw Joel says to PJ Savage, like, go for it, put him away. But then Maximo hits PJ in the balls, and I forgot what Santos did next, but Santos pins PJ Savage. Adrian Santos defeats PJ Savage, Joel Maximo, and Steve Pena At 9 minutes 52 seconds to win the vacant heavyweight championship, he's the new W.I.N champion. Santos has aligned with Maximo and his manager Skills the Great. And eventually PJ Savage came in the ring and he said, we're not ending the show like this. And he says, we're going to have... Yeah, he says, he mentions about the show at the Manhattan Center, June 14th of 2025. We know that's a long, long way to go. And he said whether he's already champion or competing for the championship, he wants to face Joey Conway one more time after he heals up. So definitely a great night of wrestling. One thing I forgot to mention with the Entourage matchup, I don't know if someone came around ringside and was saying, tell him to take it home, tell him to take it home. So I don't know if they went past the time they were given. Ran past the time of the match they were supposed to have. Okay. But personal notes, it was great seeing Stella, Novi. Didn't really recognize anybody else in the crowd. How about that one lady waving the Puerto Rican flag? I forgot to mention during the Kashmir Whiplash match, Whiplash had things going his way, and he hands the rope to that lady with the Puerto Rican flag, and she's literally hitting Kashmir in the backside with it. Okay. What else can I say about this event? As far as Jeremiah, the 24-karat lion, what kind of animal died for that robe or whatever, that fur object he wore? What kind of animal died for that? I wouldn't say conspicuous by their absence. Joel Maximo's brothers, Jose and Will, were not there. We didn't see The End. Ian Aldwin, AJ Specter, Cyrus DeVille, and their manager PJ Stackpole. I didn't see Suntan. I did notice in attendance Indestructible Joey Tell. Who else can I remember seeing or whatnot? I think I might notice Jay Alfredo there. Oh, that one kid in the Hardcore Holly t-shirt. He was also at the WAW show in the Bronx. Wearing that Hardcore Holly t-shirt. Somebody hire that kid as a commentator. He probably would do very well. Here's a memorable quote. "Fuck you, Robert Lottie." Calls him at all Joey Conway when he walked right by me before throwing the championship belt into the ring and officially vacating the title right before that four-way main event. Ugh. No return date was announced for the next show. And I don't know if the show ran longer than it was supposed to, because they ran past 11 o'clock. Show ended, I had to go use the bathroom, and I thought I would have made the 167 bus, which stops on Teaneck Road, a few blocks away from this building in New Jersey. And unfortunately, I reached the corner of Park Street and Teaneck Road, and the damn 167 bus zoomed by, because it stops at Teaneck Road and Mount Vernon Street, which is a block away, and unfortunately I didn't make it in time, and that was the final 167 bus of the night, so I had to walk all the way back to Main Street and wait for the 168 bus, which normally shows up between 11:30 and midnight, but for some reason it didn't come till midnight, and as a result of that, and the train ride home, I didn't get home till almost 2 o'clock in the morning, which is why I didn't get to the video right after I got home. But wrestling is now again scored big on this one, with all the things that new developments they've got coming along, and also hyping up this show at the Manhattan Center June 14th of next year, where they're partnering up with numerous promotions to make that show possible. But we got it appears evil Joel Maximo on our hands now in W.I.N. Still don't know why. Yeah, well, I don't know if his brothers are gonna return and have something to say about this, or what they're gonna do. And also, we didn't see the end. We didn't see Stackpole, Suntan, even though he hasn't wrestled lately. Ooh, Tommy Invincible is a guy who, really has a lot of heart. What else can I say about this event? Yeah. I was hoping there would have been a bigger crowd for this show. Let's see if anything else can be said. Due to the fact the crowd wasn't, I was hoping for a bigger crowd. I didn't use my megaphone for this event. But again, wrestling is back with a bang. And hopefully there'll be, more things to come. Maybe taking the summer off is what they needed to regroup and stuff. But, I'm sure big things are coming, even though no return date was announced to the show, for the next show. But definitely, I mean, I don't know. Wrestling is now, you going to stick to Ridgefield Park, New Jersey? You ever come back to the Elks Lodge in Queens? Or go somewhere else? I just hope everything goes well and stuff. All right. That'll do it from here. W.I.N.